Hello, everyone, and welcome to day two and of 3 steps to boost your income in your holistic business. And I'd like to welcome you all tonight. And today we're going to be breaking free and unleashing your potential. So, who here wants to learn how to break free? Raise your hand. Yay! All right. And who wants to learn how to unleash your potential and tap into your intuition to make your best decisions, especially your best business decisions? Raise your hand. Yay. All right. Okay. And I see we have Missy. Missy, can you hear? Hey, hi, Missy. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Okay. So, we're going to be on a journey tonight. We're going to be talking about limiting beliefs, money limiting beliefs, and we'll be talking about really tapping into your intuition. So, we have a lot of fun in store. Okay. And during sharing, I will be stopping the recording. So would everybody be willing to raise their hand if they're willing to keep confidential anything that we share? Everybody willing to just thank you so that we can all feel, I want you all feel safe to share whatever you need to share. Okay. So, and I wanted to share a little bit with you about my journey. And I am so grateful because I love the clients that I work with. I love combining my counseling, coaching, and intuitive abilities to transform clients' lives, help them clear sabotaging patterns to their success and grow their soul aligned business. I've been a licensed clinical social worker for over 30 years, a certified hypnotherapist, and a certified intuitive energy coach. And I'm grateful to have my intuitive abilities where I hear, I see, I feel, I know. And I've been using all these abilities in my business that I've owned for almost 20 years. And so I really feel blessed and grateful to be where I am right now in my life. But it wasn't always this way. I had a lot of trauma growing up as a child, and I suffered with anxiety, with depression, low self esteem, and post traumatic stress disorder. And because of the trauma, I really wanted to move forward in my life and my career, but I felt stuck. I felt unworthy, which affected my ability to create abundant income. And I felt terrified and ashamed to be seen and visible. I didn't trust myself to make decisions. In fact, I was the person who would be calling their friends. I called my mom. What should I do? What decision should I make about my life? I was so indecisive, totally not trusting myself, and did not. And I was asking everybody what I should do for me. And I knew that I needed to clear the limiting beliefs and emotions if I wanted to have the life and the business I envisioned. And I did a lot of personal growth work. I've taken a lot of professional trainings and healed my trauma on many levels, cleared the limiting beliefs and emotions that have blocked me from stopping me from moving forward. And then one day, I was sitting on my couch and I was watching, I felt the sun streaming in as I was drinking my morning tea. And I had a flash of insight. And I realized in that moment, I could no longer look outside myself for the answers that I knew needed to come from within me. And since that day, I have been relying on my intuition to make my decisions. And as I started taking into account my journey and created a step-by-step process, and then I started using it with my counseling clients. And it was working for them too. And then I started teaching during speaking events. And now that's how the Intuition Advantage System was born. And I'm here committed to help you, those of you who are ready and have a business you want to grow, those of you who want to start a business, and those of you who are licensed professionals who want to pivot or add to your practice or business. I'm here to help you grow your holistic business and to help you live, listen, and lead from your intuition so that you can hear, feel, sense, know, and use it in your life, in your business, so that you can create a thriving, holistic, soul-aligned business. And it's been such a blessing to be on this journey with you. And I'm so glad again, I really want to congratulate you for being here, for showing up day 2, for being in the trenches and really being in the willingness to grow and to transform your life. So whether you're here live or you're going to be looking at this at a later time, congratulations. So I just really want to acknowledge you for being here. And we have lots in store today. Lots of journeys of uncovering and understanding your own beliefs so that you can make the changes you need to transform your life and your business. And again, we'll be talking more about intuition as well. So, Julia, please share the slides. Okay. You're in the right place. 3 steps to boost your income in your holistic business. You can go to the next slide. So yesterday we talked about your vision, igniting your vision. Today we're going to be talking about breaking free and unleashing your potential. And tomorrow we'll be talking about getting into action, turning your dreams into reality, and what you need to do in order to make that happen. So stay tuned. Okay, next slide. So just for those of you who weren't here yesterday, we did a meditation and helped you get clarity on your vision and goals. We talked about creating clear intentions and talked about how it's important to affirm and visualize them manifesting. And then remember and knowing your big why, why you want to do what you do, why you want to grow your business, and why that's important to you on professional level. Excuse me, professional levels and personal levels. Taking a drink of water. Julie, you could go to the next slide, please. And so I'm going to be sharing information. And if you've heard this before, have beginner's mind, because you never know what possibilities and insights can happen today. Okay, we can go to the next slide. So the first thing is to start looking at what is your relationship with money? And and then what is your relationship with wealth? So I'd like to share a little bit about my what happened for me in my journey when I when I became a social worker. As I said, over 30 years ago, I know I'm dating myself, but it is what it is. And but I'm proud. I'm also proud that I've been in the field for many years. And I really wanted to help people. I wanted to help people get better. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to help be part of the change in this world. And I still do. And just to let you know, I still want all of that. But what happened was when I started working with one of my first mentors, she said to me, you can transform more lives when you charge what you're worth and that you deserve to make good money for what you do. And she would say that again and again in our classes and in sessions. And I heard what she was saying. I understood what she was saying, but I was having a really hard time believing it. Because of the trauma, I just felt so unworthy and so not deserving of charging what I was worth. But I was determined to keep working through my money beliefs, to keep working through my trauma about what I was worthy and deserving of. And then one day, I was on the phone with a potential client, coaching client, and I was nervous, but something in me had shifted. And I began to realize how much experience I had. I realized how much my program and the transformation that I was providing was exactly what she needed. And in my heart and soul, I knew that I deserved to charge what I was being intuitively guided to charge. I still felt a little nervous, but I also felt a confidence in myself within me. And I told her the price, and she said yes. She was my first coaching client. And since then, I feel so blessed and so grateful that I am now valuing myself and my worth, and that I'm attracting clients who value themselves enough because they're saying yes to their journey of transformation. And that's what this is about, is learning to say yes to yourself and know that you deserve to charge what you're worth, that you're worthy and deserving. So we're going to be talking about that today. So would anybody would like to either put it in the chat or raise their hand? You can stop the slide for a moment. And I am actually going to pause it for a second. All right. So Julia, can you start the slides again? Okay, we can go to the next slide. So I've brought together 9 core negative money beliefs. And what I invite you to do is let's go through each one of them. And if you would like, if it feels okay or comfortable, put in the chat if that one's one that you relate to. So the first one, money is the root of all evil. I mean, that one's been around for a long time. And before we do that, I have to, Julia, can you pin me, spotlight me again, please? Thank you. Okay. So money is the root of all evil. And this belief equates to money with negativity or immorality, creating a subconscious resistance to wealth. So does anybody, if you've had it or you have it, anybody want to type in the chat if that's something that you've been challenged by? And then another common one, because what I really wanted was like ones that are pretty common. I don't deserve to be wealthy. And I know that was one that I had. A lack of self-worth often translate into feeling unworthy of financial abundance, leading to self-sabotage. And that's what often happens when you're not feeling worthy or deserving of being wealthy. The next one is, I'm not good with money. This belief reinforces the idea that financial management is inherently difficult or beyond one's capability. And the truth is, it's about learning. It's about learning how to handle it, how to manage it. And it's something that you can all learn, that we can all learn. And next slide, Julia, please. And then there's the belief there's never enough money. And I know I grew up with that belief in my family. A scarcity mindset fosters the belief that resources are limited, making it harder to attract wealth or take financial risks. And then number 5, wealthy people are greedy or selfish. Some of you may have grown up where your parents said, oh, those wealthy, successful people, there's something wrong with them, or they're so greedy or mean or whatever you grew up with. So viewing successful people negatively can create an internal conflict about becoming wealthy and may hinder your success. So that's why this is really important for you to uncover those negative beliefs. And Magic Woman said, I grew up with that. People where I lived were not nice. So yeah, Denise says, I can relate to number 4. Yeah, I mean, these are really common. I'm not surprised, like most of us, I'm sure we all have at least one, if not more. So thank you for sharing, Jana and Denise. And I have to work really hard to make money. And this belief ties financial success to struggle and sacrifice, limiting opportunities for easier paths to wealth. And what I really want you all to know is that as you make more money, that you actually create more freedom. And it's learning how to schedule your time. And so all of these beliefs can be transformed into positive possibilities. Okay, you can go to the next slide. Money changes people. The fear of losing authenticity or relationships due to financial success can prevent someone from pursuing wealth. And I remember hearing about that. And I remember hearing, money doesn't change people. What happens is it shows more of who the person is. So people who are generous, and that's who they are going to be generous. And people who are greedy, whether they're poor or rich, they're going to be greedy. And I just heard the other day, Taylor Swift. Now she's wealthy. We all know she's wealthy. She donated $5 million to help with the relief efforts of the hurricanes. And that is how you transform more lives. The more money you have, the more money you can help others. And number 8, having a lot of money will bring more problems. The idea that wealth creates complexity, stress, or new challenges may lead to avoiding opportunities that could bring financial gain. So know that, again, when you have more money, yes, you need to learn how to manage it, and it also creates more freedom. And then this one, and you're going to see this again, because I believe this. It's at some point in my life, it's not spiritual to charge for my healing services or some version of that. I didn't feel like I should charge for my healing services. And I also know this is really common in the holistic spiritual communities. Often spiritual people don't feel it's morally right to charge for their services. And that is not true. These beliefs can create subconscious barriers, but once recognized, can be transformed into empowering, abundance-focused mindsets. And how many of you can stop the slides for a second? So, how many of you have heard of Oprah? Raise your hand. Is Oprah spiritual?
Yes.
Yeah. And is she generous and caring and giving? Yeah. And what about Deepak Chopra? Is Deepak Chopra spiritual? Yeah. And he's also caring and giving. So Missy says number 4 and number 6 really resonate with me. Thank you, Missy, for sharing that. And then there's Wayne Dyer and Louise Hay. And they all had money. They were all wealthy. And they all made a big difference and a big impact. And so what my coach said to me many, many years ago, the more money you have, the more lives you can transform, is totally correct. So that's what I want you all to remember. That you deserve to charge what you're worth. You deserve to create more money and have more money and change more lives. So just really wanted to support you in remembering that. Okay. All right. You can put the next slide up. So what do you do with these beliefs? All right. So I want to talk with you a little bit about how I work with people, and I want you to understand the different minds that we have. And I like to separate them into 3 different minds. Now, they're all connected and they're interconnected, but I like to separate it out to make it very clear. So your conscious mind is the part of you that said, yes, I'm coming. And I want to congratulate and thank that conscious mind of yours for being here. So good work, conscious mind of yours. It's the part of you that empowers you to make conscious decisions. Your subconscious mind, the way that I define your subconscious mind, is those negative beliefs. You may be conscious of some of it, but usually those patterns are so deep within you that they need to be like dug up and cleared. And your subconscious mind is the part of you from the moment you were conceived to present time has recorded every moment you have been alive. So you have positive beliefs and you have those limiting beliefs that you grew up with in your families. And being able to clear that energy is part of the journey. And I worked really hard on working it, and I'm still working on it. Okay. And then you have the superconscious mind. And your superconscious mind is that part of you, what I call your higher self, that wise, unconditionally loving part of you, and your soul, the core energy essence of who you are. And your superconscious mind also includes the universe or God or higher power, the angels, your guides, all of that is all part of your superconscious mind. And we're going to go a little bit deeper into the subconscious mind because that's where those limiting beliefs and emotions get stuck. When you have trauma, what happens is that trauma doesn't disappear. If you haven't processed through the trauma of what has happened to you, it goes into your energy field, the cells of your body, and it's there until you allow yourself to release the energy. Okay, you can go to the next slide. And your subconscious mind, when I teach about the subconscious mind, I'm talking about this lifetime. I'm talking about our past life because our past lives will definitely and can affect us in how we view money. If you had in past lives had vows of poverty, if you had to give up everything because you were a monk or a nun, or if you were really wealthy and you did bad things, or if you had, you were a peasant or a beggar, all of those past lives can be affecting you now in this lifetime. And that's in your subconscious mind. And that's part of what I do when I work with people to clear their energy. And then there's the ancestral. How many of you, raise your hand if you've heard of epigenetics? How many of you have heard of epigenetics? So some of you have. So epigenetics basically is the study of the DNA. And what they discovered was that you, not only your physical characteristics, but emotions and all are genetically passed down, including your ancestors' trauma. So if your ancestor had trauma around money, or your ancestor had trauma about survival, that could be part of what's affecting you now. And that's why it's also so important to get at those subconscious beliefs. You can go to the next slide. So in the chat, I invite you to put in the percentage of what you think, okay, how much your subconscious mind is ruling the show, how much your subconscious mind is ruling every day, your thoughts, your behaviors, your actions, your emotions. Is it 25%? Is it 50%? Is it 75%? Or is it 95%? So Sandy says 75. Who else? Missy says 75. Denise says 75. Anybody else want to guess? Jess says 95. Rochelle says 50. Magic Woman says 95. The answer is da, 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 da. The answer is 95%. When I heard this statistic, it blew me away. And I had been a therapist for years. And I could not believe it. I was like, so much of what we do is unconscious and in that subconscious mind of ours. And that's why it's so crucial and so important to Dawn. I was debating between 75 and 95. Missy said, LOL. Well, it's okay, Missy. The thing is, the most important thing is working on clearing it, because the more you work on clearing your stuff, the more you will be free to have what you want, the life you desire, what you want in your life. Okay, so you can go to the next slide. Yes, that's right. 95% of your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors are unconscious. Okay, so what we're going to do, okay, you can go to the next slide. So the number one key, excuse me, to clearing your money and success blocks are: you cannot clear the issue until you know the cause. And the cause is in your subconscious mind. Now, you may have some awareness of the block, but you probably are not aware of all the aspects of the issue. And I look at things like the onion and the layers of the onion. So it's like keep clearing the layers, clearing those beliefs, clearing the energy. That's why it's so important to do your clearing work. And it's taking me years. And like I said, I'm still working on it. I'm still working on those layers, because you know what? I believe we're in the journey. And you get to one level of success, and then when you're ready to go to the next level, more stuff comes up. It's the journey of the entrepreneur. But it's all good, because it's about personal transformation, professional transformation. You can't take the money with you when you pass, but you do take your consciousness. Think about that. Okay, you can go to the next slide. So, ways sabotage shows up and blocks your success. So, procrastination. Some of you may have procrastination. And then I've heard a lot of people say, I'm confused. I don't know what to do. That could be part of that block to success. Then there's fears, the fears of visibility, the fears of failure, or the fears of success, that not feeling worthy or deserving of charging money. It's not spiritual to charge for my gifts. There's that one again. Not feeling confident or feeling like you have the imposter syndrome, not feeling capable, and not charging enough money. So all of those are ways that your sabotage shows up and can block your success. So next slide, take out your journals. I invite you to do this sentence completion. A way I sabotage my success is. A way I sabotage my success is. Okay, Julia, can you please stop the slides? Okay, so Julia, can you spotlight me and start the slideshow again, please? Thank you. Okay. So once you learn, so what we did, the sentence completion, so whether you're doing it live with us or you're doing it at a later time, this sentence completion is a process where you can understand and discover more of what those blocks are that can sabotage your success. And once you learn the cause, then you can work on clearing the energies and make the deeper connection to your higher self and your soul. And you can go to the next slide. And what's so important is, and this is the first step of the intuition advantage system, is the conscious awareness. Because a lot of times you may have some awareness, but what happens is as you're processing, or you may have no awareness. And when you start becoming conscious of what was subconscious or unconscious, you then have the power to take the first step towards change. And that is powerful. That's you empowering yourself and taking your power back. And that's huge. And you can go to the next slide. And so I have a gift that I want to share with you. It is what I call a business accelerator session to help you accelerate your success. And some of you, I already have calls scheduled. And for those of you who don't, I invite you to join me for a business accelerator session. And whether you've already scheduled or you will be scheduled, what we're going to be doing is gaining clarity on your vision and goals. We'll create an individualized business success plan. So whether you're just starting your business or you're ready to go to another level of your business, we're going to be talking about that. And then you'll gain awareness of the number one block that you have to creating this plan. That's where that sabotage comes in. And then the next step in order for you to move forward so that you can manifest your vision. And that's what I want for all of you, is for you to manifest your vision and to really make the changes in your life that will make a difference, because ultimately you're all teachers, you're leaders, you're healers, and you all have an important purpose here. And that's what I love to do, is help all of you to change your lives so then you can change your clients. Okay, you can go to the next slide. Before we're going to be talking about intuition. Before we go to the next slide, Julia, can you put in the chat the business accelerator link for anybody who doesn't have a session with me scheduled? So for any of you that don't have a session scheduled, please feel free to schedule your business accelerator session. And I look forward to connecting with you, scheduled or not. That all of you, yes, looking forward to it. So, your intuition. I love intuition. Intuition just brings me so much joy. And it's so powerful. It's the energy of the magic and the miracles. And your intuition, the way that I define it, is your ability to see and hear and feel and know beyond the physical, your physical five senses. Your higher self, that unconditionally loving, wise part of you, your soul, your source self, your angels, your divine self, your loved ones, your deceased loved ones, and your guides are constantly sending you messages. And your intuition is what can pick those messages up through those senses beyond the physical. And I really believe it is our gift. It is your gift and your connection to the divine. And it's here to help us navigate our earthly life. And you can go to the next slide. So, my question for you is, are you allowing yourself to receive the messages? That ability to see and hear and feel. And this is a repeat slide, so don't worry about it. But my question for you is you can go to the next slide. My question for you is, are you able to allow yourself to receive your intuition? And you can stop the slides for a second. We'll come back to this in a moment. How many of you know how you receive intuition? Are you seers? Seers? You see it in your mind's eye. Are you feelers? How many of you get the gut feelings, the God bumps, the chills? I call it the chills. Like I'm working with a client and all of a sudden I'll be like this, or you know, and I know that I'm getting guided. Yep, that's truth. Or I bet all of you are empaths. You're all empaths. You walk into a room and you could be feeling fine, and then the next thing you know, you're feeling scared or angry or whatever. Or you'll be fine, and then you meet somebody, whether it's a client or a neighbor or a friend, and you could be picking up their feelings. Empaths, yes. Those are clairsentients also. And then they're the knowers. How many of you are knowers where you get that knowing, the aha, like you just know? A lot of times knowers, or you can get the knowing in the shower. Like all of a sudden I'll get like hits in the shower because it's like, ooh, you know, and when you're not thinking about what you're wanting an answer to, and that's when it comes. So there's the knowers. And then there's the clairaudience. And the clairaudience are the hearers. And you're able to hear spirit. Now, I'm very grateful because I've been blessed with all the gifts. So I'm grateful that I'm able to use all the gifts in my work and in my teachings. Because as I said, what I really learned is to be able to bring it all together to make a difference. Missy says, I have a combination of all of them, really. It comes to me in the ways that I need to when I need it. I love that, Missy. That's great. And you realize that you have the combination, and basically, spirit, your guides, they're using whatever you need in that moment. That's great. Who else would like to share in the chat? Write down what you feel you are. And I call those of us who have more than one the multisensories. Now, also know that you may have two primaries or one primary and then some secondaries. All of that is possible. Who else would like to share in the chat? Definitely a combination, Denise says. Okay. Anybody else want to share? Maybe some of you might not be sure. Well, that's something that we can talk about in your business accelerator session. How that intuition comes and what would block you. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's go back. Now we're going to do a sentence completion on intuition, because I really want to support you in tapping into that ability, because it's such a powerful ability. It's life-changing. I mean, as I started as I started really trusting my intuition more and more, I it really changed my life. And then I love when I watch my clients and we're working and they're really tapping into their intuition or they get that hit and I'm like, yes. So it's a game changer, a life changer. Changes the game of life. So, okay. Um, the next slide, please, Julia. All right, so the sentence is a way I block my intuition is. A way I block my intuition is. So see what comes to you when you do that. Okay. So during we were just talking about all the different ways that things happen to block our intuition, like not trusting ourselves, um, feeling like we need to control it, and then feeling really excited. All of these possibilities will block you. Feeling confused, not allowing yourself to really tap into what you really know or feel or sense is true. All of those are ways that you can block your intuition. And before you make a business decision, what I call this the 3 C's from the Intuition Advantage system. And this is what I used to be teaching when I was doing the speaking. And of course, I'm teaching it here, is the clearing. Because in order for you to make a really accurate, valid business decision, you must clear your energy. Now, if it's an energy around, if there's something around money, or if it's around a relationship, whether it's a business relationship or a personal relationship, you can't make an intuitive decision until you clear your energy around it. So before you make your best business decisions, you want to clear what you need to clear in order for you to quiet your mind and get an accurate answer. And then you want to make a deeper connection to your higher self, to your soul, so that you can sense and feel and know what those higher aspects are guiding you. And then the communication is all about listening to the signs and the symbols and the communication of the intuition of how it comes. So whether you're a feeler or a knower, or you have a combination of both, or you hear, it's about allowing yourself to receive the communication so that you can then make that accurate business decision. But before you do, you want to make sure that you're clear and calm enough and connected enough to do so. And you can go to the next page, next slide. So, summary of today, you want to discover the cause of your blocks, which are in your subconscious mind. Then you want to clear and connect to release them. And you want to make business decisions from the 3 C's of the Intuition Advantage system: clear, connect, and then listen for the communication, so that then you can take the inspired action when you receive the answer. And then it's learning to listen, live, and lead from your intuitive messages. So I want to, you can stop the slides, Julia. I want to see if there's any questions. If we have any questions, anybody have any questions about anything at all that we covered tonight? Anything they realized, discovered? Any questions at all? Sandy?
One thing I discovered for the past few days, when I believe on something, it's the opposite. It's not good for me. So
Wait,
it's
yeah, say that again.
like when I believe, like I believe if I'm open up a business, I believe this is going to work and I will go for it, but it doesn't work. What I don't want to do, the things that I have doubts, those are the things always being successful. So those doubts that I have always work. So
the doubts, you said the doubts work?
yes, when I
Like,
have doubts,
so explain what, can you give me an example of a doubt
like
that?
if I, let's say that if I feel I'm gonna meet you, right? And then you're gonna be a great person. And then you, at the end, when I finally meet you, you are not the person that I visualize. Everything that I was hoping didn't happen. But if I have self-doubts that you will not be a good person, there's something fishy about you, and I will have all those doubts. And finally, I will meet you. Oh my God, you are exactly the opposite what I was thinking. Does
So,
that make sense?
so let me ask you, do you have a feeling or sense that this has anything to do with expectations? No.
I know I don't like to say that I don't have expectation. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna meet you and that's it. But when it comes to business or someone, no, it's not expectation.
Okay, so when it comes to business, I see how this feels, if you're willing to do this with me.
Yeah, sure.
How does it feel when, is it possible that on some level, there's an unconscious, subconscious belief below the surface that is sabotaging you being successful in your business?
Yeah, it sounds like that. Yeah, it does have that feeling right now by describing it, by you explain it. Yes, I do feel that now.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I feel like that's what has been running you.
Yeah, for the
And
past 2 years.
Sandy, what?
I said, yeah, for the past, oh God, 5 years.
And Sandy, the fact that you're aware of it now is the first step towards that change, that you can start making the changes to clear the pattern so that you can then create the success that your soul, and I'm like feeling that energy, that your soul wants you to have. How does that feel?
It feels great. I want that, but something holding me like, oh,
And
no, that
that's,
comfort.
you know
Yes.
what? That's something that we can explore. you know, a little bit more when we're meeting. If that feels,
Okay, absolutely, yeah,
okay,
sure,
cool.
like that. Thank
Thank you
you.
so, thank you so much, Sandy, for sharing that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Anybody else want to share or have any questions or anything at all?
I have a question. When you were discussing with Sandy and you said expectations,
Yeah.
how can expectations, and this may be the case for me sometimes, how can expectations, too many expectations, throw us off, perhaps, or sabotage us?
Okay, so when you have expectations, expectations can lead to disappointment. They set us up for disappointment. And so now listen, we're all human, and you know, it's very hard to let go of all your expectations, but in the journey, it's learning to work on learning to let go of those expectations as much as you can, because the more you, this is the way, see how this feels when I say this, everybody. And Jess, it's about learning to trust the universe, to know that it's got your back, and that what can be, even though it may not look like what you think it should look like, you're getting what you need or what the universe has in store for you in order for you to grow on a soul level. How does that feel?
Perfect.
Yeah. And listen, I'm, you know, working on letting go of those expectations, but it's really, I mean, and that's been part of my journey too, is really learning how to keep letting go and trusting that spirit has a plan. And my job is to keep tuning into my intuition and letting go of those expectations and trusting the divine plan is unfolding. Thank you for asking.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions before we end? Jana. You have to unmute though.
I guess my question to you is, how do you know if it's your intuition or your ego?
Okay. So when now sometimes I will tell you that you get an idea or you get a thing and it could be both. But when it's coming from your soul, there's this sense of rightness, a sense of peace. And if you have fear, okay, because it doesn't mean that you don't have fear about moving forward, but underneath the fear is this sense of like, the way that I describe it is that I'm being pulled by the universe. I'm being called. There's like this sense of a deep calling and knowing. And also when you keep getting the same information again and again, that is definitely soul information. And again, remember, it may not look like you think it should look, like that's your ego, but you're being called to something and you're answering the call. And like I said, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have fear. Like when we're moving forward, and I know this, believe me, I'll share with you. I'll be talking a little bit more tomorrow, but when I knew that I needed to start doing more business coaching in group settings, I was like, what, are you kidding? My intuition was guiding me, and I'm like, no, no. But I knew that, like, underneath the fear was like, and I did have to work through my stuff, you know, like I did a lot of clearing and a lot of releasing. And that's also really important for you when you have stuff that needs to be cleared. If you keep clearing and you get to that place of connection and communication, you can feel that soul. So clearing is going to be a really important part of clearing the ego wounds, or clearing the ego needs, or clearing the fears, the fear of success, the fear of failure. All of those are all part of what could block you from that, what your soul is calling you to do. So hopefully that answered your question. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Well, thank you for asking. Anybody else? Okay. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Congratulations again. I just really want to acknowledge all of you for being here and for really being willing to be in the journey and committing and making the commitment to yourselves. So really, I want you to know your souls are really proud of you. And they're really proud that you're here, and they're really proud that you're moving forward and doing your work. And even if you get blocked, or even if there's sabotage happening, having that conscious awareness, that you're in that journey. You're moving. It's happening. So congratulations. And I really want to just acknowledge, thank you for all being here. And I look forward tomorrow. We're going to be doing, oh, that's right, the last slide. Did we do tomorrow's slide? I don't remember if we did. No.
No.
All right. Let's do tomorrow's slide. All right. So you don't want to miss day 3. All right. We're going to be talking about this. It's going to be a really action-packed class again, that you're going to be understanding what you need to grow or begin your business so that you are increasing your income. We're going to do some marketing tips, and then we'll have you create an action plan. So definitely really important. Keep going, keep sharing, keep coming. And I want to thank you for being here again. And I wish you all a great night. You can take the slide down. Thank you. Denise says, I'm not sure I can be on Zoom tomorrow. I had a previous arrangement. I will watch on Facebook. Okay, Denise, thank you for letting me know. And I look forward to connecting with you more. And I'm glad that you'll be able to watch it.
Thank
So.
you. Nice meeting everybody.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you,
Good night.
Nance.
Rochelle, have a good night, Rochelle. Thank you. Glad you made it, Rochelle.
Thank you.
Thank you. Glad you made it, Missy. Did she leave? Oh, she left. Okay. Jess. Yay. All right.
Good night, Nancy.
Good night, Julia.
See you tomorrow.
Okay. Bye-bye.